What's up? This is going to be a bit of an overview on... I don't really know what to call this technique. I guess you could call it multi-slotting, influencing the next pair. Anyways, it's very similar to two things I've been talking about recently. First, there was a video I posted called R prime F R U prime F prime. And if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. You'll be able to find it easily. The thumbnail is just R prime F R U prime F prime. Not to be confused with R prime F R U F prime, which is another video I have, but it's a lot older, so it shouldn't be the one you find first. And the other thing it's similar to is F2 gen F prime solving, which is something I've been pushing a lot because it is something that I believe can take CFOP to the next level, so to speak. I think it's got a lot more potential than pseudo slotting, at least as far as just improving F12 overall. So it's basically these two little concepts combined. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this F12 pair going into front right, and your front left slot has the edge in it. It could be flipped in place or it could be solved in place. But either way, it's the same thing. This pair here, or even something that sets up to it, but it's going into a U prime R prime style insert. Now, in my opinion, when you have this scenario, it's always best to sledge the pair in. So if you have the edge flipped, you should know that I recommend doing a U prime before finishing the sledge, because then you get a rotationless pair. And I would always recommend doing U prime. I wouldn't recommend ever doing U. There is one scenario where hang on, how do I set this up? Maybe like this. There we go. So there is one scenario where it's technically better to do a U2. So if you have this pair and you recognize like this thing here, I wouldn't recommend doing U prime. You still get a rotationless pair. But if you do U2 there, then you get a free pair instead. But other than that, like one very specific scenario, you should always do R prime F R U prime F prime in that scenario. And it's not too hard to learn how to catch that one specific case. I'll set up one more example of that and then move on to the other thing. Again, if you've seen the R prime F R U prime F prime video, you know exactly what I'm talking about anyways. Let's try... we've already seen that one. So let's say it's like this. Do that, and then you get a rotationless case. Do this, and then you get like that, which is kind of okay, but still worse. Anyways, you should know that concept by now. This is a little different. So when the edge is solved, you still do a sledge, but instead of doing here I would do U prime, but that's not the point. It's not so much about doing a U prime before finishing the sledge, but it's actually just about solving this pair before finishing the sledge. So you do R prime FR, and then the idea is basically you do like a 2-move cancellation. You could finish the sledge, but then the idea is you just solve this pair with F2 gen F prime. So to be like R prime FR, F prime F, they cancel out each other, and then you just solve this pair. And then here, instead of getting a dot, you could do, well, you could see it ahead of time like this. Instead of giving yourself a dot, you can very easily do edge control with something like that. So I'll set up another example of something along those lines. So let's say it's like this. And even though we've got our edges oriented, we could do something like that, which is probably better. But actually, I don't think it is better, because this works out really nicely. You could do that, and then this pair, and you could do sexy if you really want to get your edges, or you could just finish and then get, a nice overload like that. I'll set up one more example like this. Let's try and make it interesting if I can. Okay, this is cool. So yeah, so again, pair, edge is in place. Sometimes it's flipped, sometimes it's solved. In this case, it's solved. Start doing the sledge, do this pair. And then again, instead of doing that, you could do that to get your edges to be not a dot case. So that's it for the little concept. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, hope you apply it. That's what I make these videos for people to apply my knowledge. And I thank you for your time, I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.